Welcome to Witness Wednesday here on the Walk Boldly with Jesus podcast. I am your host, Katherine Duggan. However, each Wednesday, I will have a guest give their witness of how God is working in their lives. Hearing how God is working in other people's lives shows us how deeply He cares for each one of us individually. Listening to these experiences will help your faith grow. I am so blessed to be able to share these with you. Let's get started. Today's witnesses are from Matthew West's website called PopWe.org. If you don't know who Matthew West is, he is a singer, songwriter, and storyteller. This website is for the nonprofit that he has with his father, who's a pastor. Matthew and his father encourage people to share their stories. They have various categories of stories. Today, I chose 3 testimonies from the healing category. Often, we can hear our own story in someone else's story. When we listen to others tell their story, it helps us see we are not alone. When we hear how God worked in their situation, it gives us hope that He will work in ours too. I pray when you hear these testimonies, you will get the faith and hope to believe that miracles can happen in your situation too. I pray you know that God is there with you, and if you invite Him into your situation, He can help. I hope you enjoy these testimonies. First one is from Christine and Darrell. Thank you for your prayers for my bestie, June, who had a 4-hour brain surgery on Monday in Omaha, Nebraska. She had no side effects. She came home Thursday afternoon. She had 100 stitches in her head and 20 staples. She is almost 80 years old. The doctors were floored by her fast recovery. I'm not. I thank God so much for PopWe and all who prayed for her. She told me she cries often with her thanks to God for all He did for her and is in such gratitude for all who prayed for her. She has such appreciation for all who have shown love, caring, and concern for her. I saw her yesterday, and you would never know she had surgery unless you saw the back of her head. God is still in the miracle business. As Matthew West says in his song, "Don't stop praying. Mountains move with just a little faith." We just thank God for giving Junie back to us and for PopWe praying. God bless you. My name is Caleb, and I wanted to share my story of healing. In 2017, I had some tests done after I had developed symptoms of lightheadedness, extremely painful headaches, and a few other symptoms. One of the tests was a brain scan, where they found an anomaly. My parents and I were kept mostly in the dark with the whole situation. We only found out how serious it was when they rang us and asked for us to send the scans to one of the big hospitals in Sydney, Australia. A few weeks passed with back and forth phone calls and doctor's appointments when we found out what it was. It was a tumor, which the doctors couldn't work out if it was cancer or an abnormal growth of cells. The doctors said that surgery was an option due to the tumor possibly being cancerous. They declared the date for my operation was the 13th of December, 2017. I was 13 at the time and scared as I knew the risks and how quickly things could go wrong. While family, friends, and strangers prayed for me and healing, I couldn't work out why God was putting me through this. A week or 2 before the surgery, my mom had a fight with my nan, her mom, after my nan accused her of having no faith or trust in God. Mom did trust God and had faith, but she was looking at the possibility of losing me. I remember turning to Mom after my nan left and said, "Yes, we must trust in God for healing, but we must also remember to account for the possibility of me not coming out of surgery." I know it's a bit of a grim thought, but I wanted to comfort my mom, just in case. The surgery came and went. I woke up a bit groggy the first day, but by the second, I wanted to get up and run outside, go outside and try new things. But the tubes and cables attached to me stopped me. My parents bought me a Lego Technic set to build while I recovered, which was meant to last more than a day. if I rested, which I did not, despite multiple doctors and nurses asking me to. The day finally came when the results of the tumor came back. We were relieved that it wasn't cancer. The same day the doctor came for the results, he also checked the stitches on where they operated and was astonished to find it had healed faster than he had ever seen. We were given the all clear to go home a few days later. Later that year, I developed symptoms of migraines and epilepsy, which were confirmed. It was hard with new restrictions on what I was allowed to do. I was banned from getting a license to drive. I was banned from rifle shooting with my grandfather and wasn't able to be left alone. I became very depressed. I became angry with God and blamed him for my misfortune. I turned from God. To be honest, I believe that was the worst thing I did. My life became even darker without his light to guide me. Eventually, I had thoughts of ending my own life. I went to see a counselor, but it didn't make a difference. One morning, I woke up in the middle of the first COVID lockdown, extremely depressed, and went to attempt to end my life when something stopped me. It felt like a presence and like a voice telling me to stop. I felt like I could see again, and I realized what I nearly did. I eventually worked through it, opening up more to my family about how I felt. I now pray to God, read the Bible, and watch movies about God's miracles. More healing from God came after developing a relationship with Him. I was cleared to drive, and am able to help others in ways I wouldn't have, especially without this experience. During my depression, God showed me ways to create with my hands. He gave me the skills of woodworking. Every time I work with wood, I feel God giving me the wisdom and strength to help create something amazing. I have learned a few lessons from the past. The biggest is taking one day at a time and trusting God. And I thank God for leading me to music when I needed it the most, especially Matthew West music and Casting Crowns. Thank you for the music. Last but not least, we have Savannah. This isn't a story about me, but my brother. It was August of 2020 when he was admitted into the hospital with COVID. We were told right from the beginning that it didn't look good. What followed was a long battle for his life. He needed a form of life support that had extremely limited availability. He needed so much blood. His wife and children couldn't come see him. At one point, his heart stopped for 8.5 minutes. The only thing we could do was pray. It was nearly spring when he finally went home to his family. He's alive, and nobody can deny that a miracle has taken place. We prayed without ceasing, and God has answered our prayers. Thank you all so much for sharing your stories with us. It's not always easy to be vulnerable and share your story, and yet when you do, it helps so many other people. May God bless you and keep you and your loved ones healthy. We have all seen God working in our lives. However, we might not all be aware it is God who is working in our lives. This is why it's so important we start talking about it more. The more we share our experiences, the more people understand how God works and how much He truly loves us. If you would be willing to share any of your experiences of how God has worked in your life, please email me at Catherine@findingtruenorthcoaching.com. CATHERINE at findingtruenorthcoaching.com. Or you can click on the link below. It won't take up much of your time, and your story could be just the story someone needs to hear today. Please prayerfully consider sharing your story. Everyone has one, and the world needs to hear them. I look forward to spending time with you again tomorrow. Remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I. I will have another witness for you next Wednesday. Have a blessed day.